2.3 is one of the biggest updates in SCR's history. Just look at the changelog. I will be going through most of this stuff in excruciating detail. We're going to start with the biggest new feature in 2.3, the introduction of power states. All electric trains are now fitted with functional pantographs that you have to raise in the depot before setting off, and diesel trains have an engine that needs to be started up. If the train is not powered somehow, you can't accelerate. However, trains that are bi-mode and tri-mode are now truly bi-mode and tri-mode, and you can switch between the overhead wires, diesel or battery power where applicable. If you are leaving an overhead line powered section of track with the pantograph raised, an emergency brake will be applied and an alarm will beep. It looks like this. To make this easier for you, you'll see a sign like this when you should change over. It shows your destination and the power state that you should change to. In addition, you'll see this sign when you should raise your pantograph, and this sign when you should lower your pantograph and switch to either battery or diesel. Now, you will have noticed this battery indicator here on the GUI that goes down when I accelerate. But what if it runs out? Let's find out. I've got it nearly empty here, but all I get is a warning to raise my pantograph. That's all well and good, but what if I'm in an unelectrified section of track? Again, let's find out. I spawned at Bowden Depot but clearly didn't leave myself enough room, so I'll just kind of wait until it runs down. Another new feature, platform allocation. When trains begin a route, all of the platforms will be scheduled, and this will be reflected on station and platform boards. Platform boards now show the next train to arrive at the station, even before it arrives. If a platform is altered, an announcement will play, like this.
This is a platform alteration. The 1128 Stepford Connect service to Stepford Victoria will now depart from platform 2.
Now for all the dispatchers out there, TRTS boxes. Functional boxes have been placed on most platforms around the map. You will need to go to the box to send TRTS, then dispatch the train from the correct dispatching position. On platforms without physical TRTS boxes, TRTS will be sent automatically, and this will show in the GUI. This is at platforms that do not have junctions ahead. Also, if you SPAD, which, let's face it, you will in a public server, something interesting now happens.
SPAD alert.
SPAD alert indeed. Express also has a new announcer. Let's have a listen.
Welcome aboard the Stepford Express service to Lynn by the Sea. This train will call at Benton, Hampton Hargate, Leighton Stepford Road, Leighton City, Wester Coast, North Shore and Lynn by the Sea. The next station will be Benton.
I've seen mixed reactions to this new voice. Now for what you've probably been waiting for, the new trains. The elephant in the room is the Class 398 tram train, coming in 3 and 6 car variants. Now I may have told a little porky in the release video about the price of the train, owing to this code that should have expired by then, but I paid half price, losers. The tram or train thing costs 3,000 points, with an extra 800 points for the double variant. Honestly, this tram is good, but it didn't really blow me away.
This station is Verily.
Also, the Class 91 has been added to Express, together with either 7 or 9 Mark IV carriages. They are free to those with the longer trains Game Pass. Now this train did impress me. This is some great detail work.
This station is Lynn by the Sea.
A double 350-1, 185, 385-0 and 385-1 have been added to Connect, free to those with the Longer Trains Game Pass when you own the respective trains. An 8-car Class 700 has been added as well, available with the Game Pass when you own the Class 707. But now unfortunately, for some sad news. Because of the introduction of power states, it simply made no sense for third rail trains to remain in the game. So, the final third rail trains went in the direction of the 465 and 508. The Class 458 and 444 were both removed, and their points refunded. Keep squealing in spirit. On a lighter note, the new stations and upgrades. The new tram stops added were Denton Road, which is right in the middle of some large office-looking buildings, and Robinson Way, in a much quieter residential area. Also, the unelectrified Stepford Bay branch has opened with 2 new stations from Beachley. Cadoxton, a single platform station in a residential area just outside of Stepford, which bears a striking resemblance to Carnoley Bridge, and Stepford Bay itself, a pretty nice station on the side of a dual carriageway. Opposite the station is a curious office building, with detail inside even extending to bathrooms. It is as yet unclear what this building is, apart from the text on the screen in the reception, reading Office of Runwood and Rack. In terms of station upgrades, however, many stations have been upgraded. Beachley has received a major overhaul. This was a desperately needed upgrade, and I like it pretty much. Berrily has been rebuilt and includes metro tram platforms. I think this rebuild looks very nice. Greenslade has been entirely rebuilt. It feels a bit cramped in the concourse, but the platforms however are quite nice. Morganstown Docks has been upgraded too. The long-awaited upgrade has finally come, and it looks alright I guess. Whitney Green has also been upgraded. The waterline platforms are not much to write home about, but the tram platforms are quite well integrated into the scenery. Benton Bridge has also been completely rebuilt. This is Brent Cross West, but aside from that the shelters and the footbridges bring a pretty modern feel to the station. I suppose we could also include the bridge itself here as well. It is now a suspension bridge that doesn't look that unrealistic. Morganstown has also been rebuilt. There have been mixed reactions to say the least. Now for the most anticipated upgrade. Hampton Hargate has been rebuilt. This is a far bigger station than it has any right to be, as it is sort of taking over from Morganstown as well. Starry Lock has also been improved here and there. Upper stat flow has also been improved. Also here at Upper Stat Flow you can see the new level crossing models that have been rolled out across the network. This gives me hope that we could be seeing functional level crossings in the near future. Now for routes. Connect has received various semi-fast routes that run along the fast tracks in certain places. They are R104 Stepford Central to Lynn, R105 Stepford Central to West Wyvern, R106 Stepford Central to Rayleigh Bay, R107 Stepford Central to Leighton West, R108 Airport Central to West Wyvern, and R109 Airport Central to Leighton West. Also, to service the new branches, Metro has new routes in the form of R139, which is Greenslade to Stepford Bay via Ellesmere Junction, R140 Beachley to Stepford Bay, R141 Willowfield to Stepford Bay, R142 Stepford Bay to Whitney Green via Bowden and Barton, R143 Stepford Central to Whitney Green via Ellesmere Junction, and R144 Stepford Victoria to Greenslade via Bowden. Also, the opening of the stub past Barton to allow trains to head towards Berrily means that R030, R130 and R131 have been routed via Bowden and Barton instead. The Class 345's routes have also been switched up, with the shuttle routes now originating from Morganstown or Hampton Hargate. Here are all of the route changes, with some of the important ones being that Hampton Hargate has replaced Morganstown as a calling point on R082 and R083 on Express. R007, which used to terminate at Morganstown for Connect, has now been extended to Hampton Hargate, and some other restriction and head code changes. So here is the new Metro map with the new tram train services. Interestingly, they use a lighter grey background with a darker grey line running through the middle. Now for depot changes. Metro has two new exclusive depots, at Beachley and at Bowden. However, a lot of the depot and siding names have been changed to quote reflect the area that they are in. So, Willowfield Depot is now the Willowfield Carriage Sidings. The new depot at Beachley is named the Marston Hill TMD. The Beachley sidings have been renamed to the Beachley Kingsway Carriage Sidings. The Stepford Depot is now Trinity Way Depot. The Woodhead Lane Depot is now Market Wayton TMD. The Whitefield sidings are now Whitefield Farm Park Carriage Sidings. The Bury Depot is now Manor Hill TMD. The new Bowden Depot is called just that, or Bowden Metro Operations Centre if we're using the name that was voted for. The Coxley Station and Bypass sidings are still called that, but the station sidings can no longer be used by Metro due to the new Bowden Depot. The Faraday Road Depot is now Meriden Grove TMD. The Newry sidings are now Elmstead Park Carriage Sidings. The Benton sidings are now Benton Station Carriage Sidings. The Benton Depot is now the Harbour City TMD. The Whitney Green Depot is now the Holbeck TMD. The Farley Depot is now the Melrose Depot. The Esterfield Depot is still called that. The Airport Parkway siding and depot is now the Stoke Milton Carriage Sidings, and can now be used to spawn every operator, so the Hampton Hargate siding and the Morganstown siding have both been removed. The Leighton Depot is now the Winstory Lane TMD, in a nice nod to Legacy SCR. The Famere Green Depot is still called that. Finally, the North Shore Depot is now Lyra, or honestly Lyra, take your pick TMD. Right, I think that's all of them, but if I've missed anything, do let me know. Now for some signalling changes. Zone borders have been reshuffled, but now they are numbered rather than lettered. Also, their locations have been changed. Notably, the Bewley Park signal box, the Rayleigh Bay signal box, and the signalling centre at High Street are not used anymore, and the new Berrily ROC and the Hampton Hargate signalling centre have opened. How signals are numbered has also changed. The first letter gives the location of the ROC, the next letter gives the zone, then the next three numbers are unique for each signal. New tram signals have been introduced for use on the tram-only sections. There are only two aspects: Proceed, which is a vertical line, and Danger, which is a horizontal line. Sound upgrades are next. Yes, SCR has given sounds more than two thoughts. The IET and flirt sounds have been upgraded to reflect which power state they are in. There is also an engine start sound when switching to diesel. Also, if trains are not powered, then they are completely silent. There is a satisfying clunk when pantographs touch the wires. I may as well talk about the 398 horn here as well. On mainline tracks, pressing H will result in a horn sound. It's frankly pathetic, but it's still a horn. But on the tram-only sections, the icon changes to a bell, and the sounds reflect that. Now for some miscellaneous changes. It is 2019 again, as the main menu music has been reverted to Nice Summer, as Hang Up was removed from Roblox. Ages ago now by this point. There have been various scenery changes, including the addition of new gantries in certain areas. There are also these bug fixes that are currently flying past on screen. Initially, the 143 and 321 door bugs hadn't been fixed yet, with this being an issue with Roblox and thus out of the control of SCR development. But as of version 2.3.1, these bugs are officially fixed. So that's pretty much everything that was added in version 2.3. I'll clearly have to try and think of other video ideas, but I do have some in their editing stages, and I will see you later.